Imagine doing 100 hours of customer support in just 10 minutes. Well, that's actually exactly what my AI insurance agent does. It answers every single question from policy details to renewal dates without raising a single support ticket. Why did I build this? Well, insurance companies are actually wasting a lot of money and time every single month on these repetitive questions. But my AI agent, it doesn't get tired. It works 24/7. It answers instantly and overall improves the customer support while saving a ton of money and time in the process. So to help you out today, I'm going to show you three things. First of all, a live demo of this AI. Second, a walkthrough of the prompts, the tech stack, and the workflows I use to build this. And third, a cost and time breakdown, so you can decide if this is a smart investment in 2025. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name's Liam. I help businesses all over the world save tens and tens of thousands a year using AI. If you'd like to do the same for your insurance company, just use the first link down below to book a free AI consultation call. I am limiting the spots to only 3 people per video, so I hope to see you in there, and now let's dive into the live demo. Alright, so instead of somebody calling your customer service team or maybe a call center, instead they can now call an AI agent. This AI agent has access to your CRM, in this case it's Google Sheets, but you can of course use your real software for this as well, and also a bunch of Q&A documents. So let me show you what this actually sounds like.
To Hemingsworth Insurance. I'm Matthew. How can I help?
Hey Matthew, I was just wondering what payment methods do you accept?
We accept credit cards, debit cards, bank transfers, and PayPal. Although PayPal availability may vary by region.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
And if I was to
I can
file a
help you with,
claim,
today?
how long would it take to process a claim?
Most claims are processed within 5 to 10 business days. However, more complex claims may take longer.
Okay, I actually forgot
anything
my
else I can help you
password
with
to the portal. How do I reset that?
To reset your password, go to the login page of our app or website, click on Forgot Password, and follow the instructions to
Okay, great.
reset it via email.
I have a more specific question. What is my deductible at the moment?
Your current deductible amount is $750.
All right.
Is there anything else
And
I can assist you with today?
Yeah, definitely. Could you please tell me my current premium?
Your current premium is €99 per month.
All right. And yeah, I was also going to ask what the covered vehicles are for me at the moment.
The vehicle currently covered under your policy is a 2022 Audi A3.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. That's all. Bye-bye. Right, so that sounded pretty cool. As you can see, it pulled live data from a database. It can look through your documents, and this kind of technology can, of course, be expanded to do much, much more than just this. But for today's video, let me show you how this actually works on the back end. All right, so to build this system, you're going to need two softwares. First of all, Vappy and Make.com. Now, all of the prompts and also this workflow down here, you can download that using the resources section in the description, completely for free. Upload that into your Vappy account. You can copy paste the prompt, and you can also upload the workflow, clicking on the 3 dots, importing the blueprint, and then uploading the file that you just downloaded. Now, if you want me to help you customize these for your insurance company, or you want to work with me in general, you can just use the first link down below to book a free AI consultation call as well. Now, let's walk you through how this works. We're going to start here on Vappy. So if you've never seen Vappy before, I won't go into every single little detail, but I want to help you understand what the technology is capable of and what things you have in your control, and also how we ensure that this is a secure way of doing it, because I don't want the AI to accidentally leak very sensitive data. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's start over here. So you can choose which model you want to use. You can choose who speaks first. In this case, we've given it a static welcome message. And after that, we've given the assistant the following prompt. So you can give it first of all, a role and identity, an AI assistant at Hemingsworth Insurance. And next you give it a context. So we work here, this is the time zone, and we are in a voice call interaction. You could even add something like customers are calling for questions, for example, which you will help answer. Now, next, what you would always add in the prompt is an overview of the functions and tools that it can use. So for example, the get info tool and the CRM tool. And you can also give it, a step-by-step instruction of how it's supposed to use the tools, specify how it sounds. For example, also little things like pronounce numbers like this. So if you don't say 5 to 10, it might try to say this number in one go, and it just sounds weird. Just little things that you learn over time. And the note section I usually leave for things that aren't working, because the prompt, what's quite important is the first section and the last section actually have the most weight, the most impact. So now let's actually get to the tools, because they are the most interesting. Actually, before I get to that, just a quick side note, you can of course change the voice to sound different. You can add different languages as well. You can specify all sorts of things like when does it stop speaking, how many words do you have to say to interrupt the AI, what happens if you don't say anything at all. Just as a side note, all of that can be configured in the voice settings or in the advanced settings under stop speaking plan or start speaking plan. Now the tools, this is where it gets more interesting. We have two tools, the information tool and the search CRM tool. The information tool you can find under tools and then information, and this is a query tool. And basically what this does is you give it a description of when the AI is allowed to use this tool. So in this case, I've told it, use this to answer any questions. Now the AI knows, okay, let me search this knowledge base, and you can add multiple as well. Search this knowledge base to answer questions. What I've done here is I've uploaded a file, and you copy that file ID into the into this down here. And you can also specify what it says during, while it uses the tool, but just play around with that. And what we've given it here is just a PDF of a Q&A format. This is actually the best format that works for AI. It's just Q&A. It works flawlessly. So in case you're wondering how to format this, Q&A is the best. And as you can see, if we ask it general questions, it can just pull from here and answer the questions from your documents. Now, for more specific questions that are also variable, it can use the search CRM tool. So here we've told it use this tool to search for customer details regarding the following topics. And then we've given it all the topics it can answer, which in this case are just all the columns in this sheet. And next, what happens here is this is a different kind of tool. We've given it a server URL, which is in our workflow actually the URL of this webhook. So as soon as it uses this tool, it sends information here, which we can then use to search the CRM with. And what's important here is that we can also send information across. And the information it sends across is just the category. So we ask it the category of the question asked. And then we've added these enum values so that we can ensure that it can only pull information from these things. So the AI can't just make up a new thing. It couldn't say, what are my legal documents? It can only choose from all of these ones here. And it will then send one of these, which fits best, into this workflow. Now, first of all, we use that. Actually, no, we do one thing beforehand. Every time this is executed, it also sends across the phone number that it's currently calling. And this is actually one of the biggest things why this is so secure. Because you can't just ask, what's one second, here's the names. What's Maria Muller's policy type? You can't ask that, right? The thing that it searches by is the phone number that's currently in the call. So unless you steal Maria's phone and make a call from there, you can't get any information from someone else. In my case, it detected my phone number. And then what we did is we used that phone number. By the way, in case nothing returns, it'll say, it seems like you aren't a customer with us yet. Would you like to enroll? Just as a side note, that's in there as well. But if they are a customer, we first of all, what we do is, this is a little bit tricky with Google Sheets. Probably in a normal CRM, it might be easier, but we want to get not all of this information. We don't want to pull all of this back. We only want the very specific one that they asked for. So in this case, we search here. We already get the row number, which is in this case row 5. But now we also need the column type. So for example, payment status, we need H. And now I've just added this little function in here to say that if the category that was sent across is deductible, for example, where is that deductible? It should output E. And then we can use that to basically search the sheet again to say, search this specific cell, which is in this case E5, and then it would, or H, right? H5, and then it would get only this column. So it's a little bit of a scenic route, but that's how we get one specific bit of information in case you're interested. And then we send the information back. We'll just say the status of, in this case, for example, payment status is overdue. And the assistant uses this every single time it needs to pull information from your CRM. And that's pretty much it. You can add a lot more tools to this as well, of course. You can add a tool to transfer, for example, to a human. In that case, you would use the, the transfer call tool, for example. So there's a lot more things you can do with this, but I hope I was able to give you an insight into how even such a simple system can be very beneficial with large volume of calls. All right, so what does this actually cost? What is the pricing of something like this? And there's a couple of things to keep in mind. So first of all, the AI price per minute. You actually only pay the AI if it does work for you. And in this case, usually we work with around 11 cents per minute. They used to be a lot higher a couple months ago, just at 19 cents per minute, 17, but they go down as the technology improves. Now, where do you see this? This is in VAPI under the Assistance tab. Here it's only 10 cents per minute, for example, and it also depends on how long the prompt is. More complex assistants, or for that matter, if you don't optimize the prompt, it is more expensive. And especially with large call volumes, this can add up, so I would always recommend compressing the prompt down as much as possible. Now, comparing this to a human's around 30 cents per minute, unless you're paying the minimum wage. And now let's give you a concrete example. So mid-sized insurance companies could get between 100 and 500 calls a day. And let's just work with 300 for this case. And let's say each call is around 3 minutes, like in the example. That would mean you'd work out with 11 cents per minute times 3 times 300 is, I believe, about 3,000 a month. And that sounds really expensive, right? But now let me actually show you how much you would save with the system. So here I've pulled some data for what would happen if you use the system for 12 months. Without AI, for 300 calls a day, you would have at least 3 people in office trying to answer these calls. Let's say you pay them 3K per sales rep. That would mean that you're spending around 9 grand a month. And the with AI column has 2 parts to it. Once the setup and once the monthly. As you already heard, the monthly works out with how many calls you get and how long they are, which in this case would be 3 grand. And the setup fee can range, right? It can be a really small build for 2K. It can be a larger one for 30K. In this case, I've chosen the setup fee of 12,000. And this really depends on the agency that you're working with. But the interesting thing is, even though those are big numbers, you can just look at the savings. And month 1, you can see that, sure, the setup fee is more expensive than just paying your humans. But already in the second month, you're making thousands and thousands of dollars and then tens of thousands. And at the end of the year, closing in on 70 grand. You've literally saved $70,000. And it's not like you're going to fire your sales reps. They're going to do much better and more complex tasks that the AI couldn't do. And this is my favorite part about AI because, of course, it's cost effective, right? But you're actually getting paid for having 24/7 service. There is no more hold time, by the way. As you heard, it answered instantly. It can take many calls at once, and of course saves you a bunch of time. So you effectively get paid $70,000 every single year for having better customer support and using your human capital in ways that is way more beneficial. All right, so I hope I was able to give you an insight into how such a simple system can provide so much value to a company. If you'd like to work with me and build something like this for your business, you can just use the first link down below to book a free AI consultation call. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next video.